I was halfway through unpacking the groceries when my phone buzzed. I didn't recognize the number at first, but the text itself made my stomach drop. "We need to talk. Now. Don't look for me." Her name wasn't on the screen. Just that number, faceless and urgent. I froze, hands gripping the counter. My mind raced. Maybe it was a mistake, maybe some emergency. But the tone of it, that "don't look for me" part, clawed at something inside me. I called her, my voice cracking before I even spoke. Straight to voicemail. Again. It was Rachel. My wife. At first, I blamed myself. Did I push too hard this week? Did I miss something obvious? But deep down, an unease had been gnawing at me for months. Little things. A call she always left in another room. The subtle tightness in her smile. When I walked in, her phone face down on the nightstand as though hiding something. I brushed it off as paranoia. The kind husbands convince themselves is rational. By midnight, I was driving to the motel where she said she'd gone to clear her head. The neon sign flickered like it was struggling to hold on to itself, just like I was. Her room was empty, the bed neatly made, as though no one had ever slept there. I froze in the doorway, scanning the space, my chest tight. Then I saw it. Her car was gone. My pulse jumped. My mind spun through every possibility. Had she left in a rush? Was she safe? Then I noticed something else. A crumpled receipt on the nightstand. A coffee shop downtown. Time-stamped just 30 minutes ago. I tried calling again, but the line rang through, straight to voicemail. I texted. No reply. I started pacing, replaying every conversation we'd had this week, every promise, every laugh, every late-night reassurance that suddenly fell hollow. The first real blow came hours later. My phone pinged with a photo from an unknown number. I barely recognized Rachel in it. She was kissing someone else. The man's face was only partially visible, but it didn't matter. The proof hit harder than anything I'd imagined. My hand shook as I scrolled through more. Text between them, exchange in code, and a booking confirmation for a motel not 30 minutes from here. I remember sitting on the curb outside that motel, the winter wind cutting through my coat, thinking I had to be dreaming. She had walked out of our life, and I hadn't even seen it coming. I kept asking myself why I hadn't noticed, why I hadn't seen the signs. But the truth was brutal and clear. I had seen them. I just refused to face them. The days that followed were a blur. Calls went unanswered. Friends offered empty condolences, and every street, every cafe, every little corner of our city seemed to whisper her absence. I found myself haunted by memory. The way she laughed in the kitchen, the careless brushing of her hand against mine, the soft goodnight that had once made me feel whole. Now, every echo of her presence cut like broken glass. And yet, it wasn't only betrayal I felt. It was fear. When she vanished completely, leaving no word, no trace of where she went, I realized how little I actually knew about the person I loved most. Fear mixed with anger, love mixed with heartbreak, until I could barely recognize my own emotions. Finally, the confrontation came. It wasn't in person. She called me herself, her voice trembling, soft, almost pleading. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she said. "I didn't know what I wanted. I made a mistake." Her words sounded hollow, rehearsed, like she'd been saying them to herself more than to me. I asked the questions I had rehearsed 1,000 times in my head. Why, with whom, for how long? She gave me answers, excuses, confessions. Not all of them made sense, but they were hers, raw and trembling. I remember holding the phone after she hung up, staring at the wall of our apartment, realizing that love wasn't always enough. That trust, once broken, was a thing you could just pick up like a dropped glove. But in the ruins of heartbreak, I felt something else, clarity, self-respect, the quiet understanding that I didn't have to chase her, didn't have to beg for fragments of a life that no longer existed. Weeks later, I sold her car, the one she had abandoned, and donated what little I could to the life we'd built. The apartment smelled empty but clean, a small gesture of reclaiming my space. I still remember the echo of her laughter, the sting of the text, the terror of knowing she had walked out, and a quiet strength that came after I realized she wasn't my anchor anymore. Some nights, I lie awake thinking about what could have been, about the person I loved who turned out to be someone I never truly knew. But slowly, I've learned that heartbreak isn't just an ending. It's a reckoning, a moment where you gather the pieces of yourself and decide which ones to keep. And me, I chose to keep the part that believed in honesty, in trust, and in the quiet power of moving on. Her life may have disappeared alongside her car, but my life I reclaimed,